Hello, my name is David Wilhite. I have been in the gaming industry for over 15 years and have taught hundreds of thousands of people how to gamble correctly. I have appeared in movies and documentaries about gambling in the United States and around the world. Just what are your chances of winning at gambling? Zip, zilch, none, nada, if you don't play. You or anyone you know can improve your odds at gambling. So why not indulge? Dare to take the plunge. While there are no systems that are guaranteed 100%, if you follow the rules, you can greatly reduce the house's odds. When you walk up to a crap table, there's 4 people on the game to take care of you. I want to tell you a little bit about them and what they do for you. We have the stick man, who would stand right about here. Now his main job on the real table is to call out the numbers on the dice when they're thrown. 7, then he'll take the dice and bring them back to the center of the table. While he's got the dice in the middle of the table here, he's going to look on the layout. Now he wants to make sure that everyone has been paid, that anybody new has gotten into the game, or that everybody's made their bets before he gives the dice to the shooter. Also, he takes care of the proposition bets out here. So if you want to make a proposition bet, you would take the money, throw it out there to him, tell him what you want, and he would put it there for you. You, as participants in this game, do not reach into this area on the table. We have a dealer on this end that would take care of 8 players. We also have a dealer for the other end who would take care of 8 players on that side. So we do have room for a total of 16 players on the game at any given time. Also, please note that both sides of the layout are exactly the same. So no matter what we're talking about down here, it will always work the same down at this end. What does the dealer do for you? Basically, he's the one that handles all of your money. But also remember, any time that you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask the dealer. Just understand, though, that he cannot initiate that conversation. He can't start it, but anytime you ask, he will tell you anything that you need to know. So feel free to communicate with the dealer. Then we have the box man. Now he's the guy you see sitting down on the table. He's there to make sure that everybody gets a fair game out here. He makes sure that when the dice are thrown, that the stick man does call out the proper number. And now he's going to look on the layout, and he wants to make sure that everyone receives the proper payoff, or to handle any disputes that might arise on the table. When you throw the dice, remember, please, one hand only on these dice. One hand only. So that does mean none of this, please, folks. You can shake them all you want. You can talk to them. You can blow on them. You can give them a little kiss if you want to. But please, everything that you do to the dice, do it over the table. Never take the dice out of our sight for any reason. If you do, we will ask for them back to make sure that they both still are our dice. Now, when you throw the dice, we do ask that both dice do hit that wall on each roll. If one or both of them would have to come up short, they would count that roll just when they brought them back to the shooter that explained to him to please hit the wall on the next roll. Sometimes when you throw the dice, one of them will actually take a bounce and go off the table. If that happens, naturally they cannot count that roll. But if you should happen to pick up one of the die off the floor, please hand it in to one of the dealers. Do not throw it back in on the table, because it would have already been replaced with another die, and we wouldn't want to get confused with the 2 that are on the table. So if you pick it up off the floor, hand it in, please. Sometimes when it takes that bounce, it'll just land up here in the rail. If it lands up in the rail, once again, they're not going to be able to count the roll, but they're also not going to replace the dice. So now you can just pick it up and drop it in. Remember, on the floor, hand it in, please. If it lands up here in the rail, take and drop it in. The first thing you want to check out whenever you walk up to any gaming table is the minimum on that table. On the crap table, all the signs set right about here, telling you what that minimum bet is on the table. $2, $5, $25. That way when you walk up to a table, you do know whether it fits into your budget or not. When it says a $2 minimum, that means that no matter where you bet out here, you must have a minimum of $2 in any of these areas that you choose to bet on. The next thing you want to do is buy into the game. When you buy into the game, though, you want to lay your money on the outside of the layout and tell the dealer that you want change only. The dealer will then pick the money up, give it to the boxman. The boxman will confirm what it is. The dealer will then cut the money out here in the come, prove it to the boxman. The dealer would then pick the money up, set it in front of you. Then you would pick the money up and put it in a little tray here directly in front of you. Money management is important in no matter what game that you play. Unlike blackjack, where you just win even money, craps, you win at a different rate. The first thing you need to decide is how much money you're going to spend each day. Say you've got $100. You need to also set a limit on how much money you want to win each day. I feel that if you double your money, that should be enough. Once the point has been established, now you want to take your odds. Remember, we always take double odds. The point is 4, you take $4 odds. Now we make a come bet. It goes to a number. You want to take your odds there also, which is $4 more. And one more come bet, and when it goes to a number, you take your odds there. So now we've got 6, 6, and 6 for $18. Let this money stay until you start winning. Say the 9 shows. The dealer will take this, kick your odds off. He'll pay your odds 3-2, and this even money. Now pick up your winnings and set it to the side. Let this come bet go to another number. Take the odds. In this case, it'd be $5. Remember, we had $18 involved before. Before we go any further, we want to get all of our money back. As of now, we've got $7. Now say the 5 shows. The dealer will kick it down and pay it once again, 3-2, and even money. Pick up your winnings and set it aside. Let this money go to another number. Then take your odds, which in this case will be $4 again. Now we've got $8. We've got $15 of our original $18 investment back. If we win one more time on the pass line, this wins even money. This would win 2-1. We pick up our odds and our winnings, and we've got $14 more. 14 plus 15 is 29. We have one more point. We take our odds, and now you could actually make another come bet and say it goes to the 5. We would take our odds and that's where we would stop. The proper time to make the pass line bet. The dice are in the middle of the table. The marker is in the don't come bar area. We're ready for the come out roll. Come out roll, it is important you remember, because that's the stick man's way of telling you that it's the start of a brand new game. Pass line bet is a way that 95% of the people play. 7, you would win. Pass line bet always wins even money. 2, and you would lose. What I'm trying to point out is that on the come out roll, that we are not necessarily going to establish a point. The shooter could roll 7, you would win. 2, you would lose. 11, you could win again. 3, you could lose again. 12, you could lose one more time. So on the come-out roll, we are not necessarily going to establish that point on the first roll. So it could be the come-out roll for 1, 2, 5, maybe even 10 times. The shooter rolls a 4. 4 becomes a point of this game. Now we go to step number 2. 4 we win, 7 we lose. No matter how many times it takes the shooter to roll one or the other. 4 you win, 7 you lose. Also, once the point has been established, you can no longer pick up your pass line bet. This money must stay now until it's won or lost. The come bet you already understand because it's exactly like the pass line bet on the come out roll. Step number 1, 7-11 you win, 2, 3, 12 you lose, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, and this money will go to that particular number. Where do we make our come bets? Directly in front of you where it says come. 7. What happens? You lose the pass line, but you win the come bet. So the come bet will always win back your pass line bet for you. Therefore, it acts sort of like an insurance bet. 5. What happens? This money goes from the come to the 5. Please note that the money does go inside the box. And then we go to step number 2 on our come bet, which is exactly like step number 2 on our pass line bet. We win if the 5 is thrown. We lose if 7 is thrown. So the only thing that's going to affect this money now, 5 you win, 7 you lose. Come bet, like the pass line bet, always wins even money. And once it goes to a number, it must stay there also until it's won or lost. They use this chart to come up with our next payoffs. But before we go any further, we need to remember that no matter what we're talking about, the 4 and 10 will always be the same, the 5 and 9 will always be the same, and the 6 and 8 will always be the same. Now, say we have a feeling that the point is going to show before the 7. Now we give you the opportunity to make an additional bet behind your pass line bet. And this is what they call taking odds on the point. We know the pass line is always betting on the point, so our odds are always betting on the point. These are both betting on the same number now, so it's all considered one bet. And once again, what this does do, it allows you to bet this additional money back there that pays off at a greater rate than the pass line. We know the pass line always wins even money. Our odds, however, would win 2 to 1. So for each additional $1 that you bet behind the pass line, when the point is 4 or 10, you will win $2. If the point is 5 or 9, you want to bet $2 back there, so you will win $3. And if the point is 6 or 8, you do want to make sure that you bet $5 back there, so you will win $6. So it's 2 to 1, 3 to 2, 6 to 5. Pass line is always betting on the point, so our odds are always betting on the point. It is important that you do bet the proper amount, otherwise you're just going to win even money. So if the point happens to be 6 or 8, and you only bet $2 back there for your odds, that's all you're going to win is $2. So it is to your advantage to bet the 5, so you will win $6. Also, people want to know the point is 4 or 10, and we have a $2 minimum on the table. Could you bet $1 behind for your odds? Sure. This is all considered one bet now. You've already met the minimum on the pass line. And the maximum amount that you can bet behind the pass line is shown once again on our little blue signs. Double odds. And double odds is simply telling you that the maximum amount that you can bet behind your pass line is quite simply double your pass line bet. So if you have $2 on the pass, that means you could bet up to 4 for your odds. Unless the point was 6 or 8, then we will let you go to 5 so you could win $6. Your odds also, you can put them down anytime you want. You can pick them up anytime you want. If you have a feeling the shooter's going to roll the 4, you can put your odds down. Say the shooter rolls a 6, then a 9. Now you feel he's going to roll a 7, you could pick your odds back up and then put them down again. You could do this every other roll, but once again, as long as the dice are in the middle of the table. But once you put them down, you really should leave them down. Come bet odds are exactly the same as our pass line odds. The only difference is to take odds on your come bet, the money goes out here in the come, once again directly in front of you, but now you would tell the dealer where you want this money to go. So you would say, give me odds on my 5. Then I would pick it up and set it on top of your bet. These odds also, you can put on the number anytime you want. You can get them back anytime you want. If you want your odds back, you would tell the dealer, down on my odds. And then the dealer would pick them up and hand them back to you. Don't pass is bet on the come out roll. That's the only time your don't pass can be made. Don't pass is a 2-step bet. Step number 1, 7-11 you lose, 2-3 you win, and you're going to push on 12. Push means you don't win, you don't lose. 2, what happens? Don't pass wins, even money. 7, what happens? Don't pass loses. 4, that now becomes our point that you're betting against on the don't pass. So now we're step number 2. 4 you lose, 7 you win. No matter what number or how many times, 4 you lose, 7 you win. Unlike the pass line bet, once the point was established, you could not pick it up. But the don't pass, you could pick it up. Should you? No, because now the odds are in your favor to win this bet. 4 shows 3 ways, 7 shows 6 ways. The odds are now 2-1 in your favor to win this bet. Don't come is just like the don't pass, and it's just the opposite of the come. Once the point's been established, 7-11 you lose, 2-3 you win, you're going to push on 12. 5, this money goes behind the 5. And now we're step number 2. 5 you lose, 7 you win. Odds on the don't pass are just the opposite of the odds on our pass line. On the 4 and the 10, you now must lay $2 to win $1. On the 5 and 9, you must lay 3 to win 2. And on the 6 or the 8, you must lay 6 to win 5. Don't come odds are just like our don't pass odds. Once again, you put your money in the come and tell me that you want to lay the odds against the 5. And then I would pick them up and lay them like this. The field bet is a 1-roll bet, meaning on the next roll of the dice that you will either win or lose this money. A field bet covers all of these numbers, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not just one particular one that you want to bet on, but you do get them all. Field bet always wins even money. Unless the 2 or the 12 show, then you win double. Field bet, like every other bet, is always made directly in front of you, and then always do something with your money when you win. Pick it up, stack it up, always do something with your money. Big 6, Big 8. It's a continuous bet. Put it down anytime you want, pick it up anytime you want. 6 shows you win, even money. 7 shows you lose. 8 shows you win, even money. 7 shows you lose. 6 you win, 7 you lose. 8 you win, 7 you lose. You always win, even money. Another way of betting the numbers are place bets. The proper time to make the place bet, after the point has been established. Once again, the money goes out here in the come, directly in front of you, but now you get to tell the dealer where you want your money to go. So you would say, place me the 5, the 6, the 8, the 9, the 10. Please note that the place bets now go on the line, as opposed to inside the box, like the come bet. The place bets, you do not have to bet them all. You can bet one of them, 2 of them, any combination of them. It's entirely up to you. And this is how they pay. On the 4 and the 10, for every $5 you bet, you will win $9. On the 5 and 9, for every $5 you bet, you will win $7. And on the 6 or the 8, you do want to make sure that you bet $6, so you will win $7. Place bets, you can put them down anytime you want. You can pick them up anytime you want. If you want your place bet back, you would tell the dealer, down on my place bet. Down on my place bet, and I would pick it up and give it back to you. Proposition bets. No matter what the minimum is on the table, $2, $5, $25, the minimum out here is always $1. Once again, to make the proposition bet, take the money, throw it out there to the stick man, and you would tell him what you want, and he would put it there for you. Anything out here in the red is a 1-roll bet, meaning once again on the next roll of the dice that you will either win or lose this money. Out here, C stands for any craps, which is 2, 3, or 12. If one of them show, you'll win 8 for 1. If anything else shows, you lose. 2, 3, 12 you win. Anything else, you lose. E, which is another bet, a separate bet, and a different bet. E stands for 11, which we all know is 6 and 5. If it shows, you'll win 15 for 1. If anything else shows, you lose. 11 you win. Anything else, you lose. 7, any 7 shows, you'll win 5 for 1. If anything else shows, you lose. 7 you win. Anything else, you lose. The hard ways are not a 1-roll bet. They are a continuous bet. Put them down anytime you want. Pick them up anytime you want. Hard ways for you to win, the dice must show exactly like the picture. You will lose if that number shows in any other combination. So if you're betting on the 10 and the dice would show 6 and 4, you would lose. Or if the number 7 shows, you would lose. Any other number, however, would not affect your bet. That number in any other combination, or the number 7, and you are going to lose. If you've been winning and the dealer's been polite, now you want to say thank you, we allow you to make a bet alongside of yours for the dealer. That way if you win, the dealer wins. Then they'll pick this money up, tap it on the table, and put it in their pocket. That is what they call a tip. That is how they make their living. But the key is, once again, only if you're winning first, and only if the dealer's been polite. Right alongside of yours and say the boys are on the line. And it's just not restricted to the pass. It could be a don't, could be a field, could be a come, could be a place, could even be a proposition bet if you so desire. And by the way, good luck. Following charts must be memorized before you go to the crap table. The pass line is a two-step bet. Step number 1, 7-11 you win, 2, 3, 12 you lose, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, and that will establish a point. Step number 2, you win if the point is rolled, you lose if 7 is rolled. The come bet is a two-step bet. First, though, the shooter must have a point. Step number 1, 7-11 you win, 2, 3, 12 you lose, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, and that will establish a come point. Step number 2, you win if the come point is rolled, you lose if 7 is rolled. The don't pass is a two-step bet. Step number 1, 7-11 you lose, 2, 3 you win, you're going to push on 12. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, and that will establish a don't pass bet. Step number 2, you lose if they roll the point, you win if they roll a 7. The don't come is a two-step bet. But first, the shooter must have a point. Step number 1, 7-11 you lose, 2, 3 you win, you're going to push on 12, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, and that will establish a don't come point. Step number 2, you lose if they roll the don't come point, you win if they roll the 7. There are 36 possible outcomes on the dice, each die having 6 sides. 6 times 6 is 36. 7 shows the most ways, 6 ways. 8 and 6 show 5 ways. 9 and 5 show 4 ways. 10 and 4 show 3 ways. 11 and 3 show 2 ways. 12 and 2 show 1 way. After you have mastered craps, be sure and look for my other videos. And by the way, good luck.